just nice to go off the beaten path. Go somewhere less What the hell is the quote? Welcome back to Wandering. Yes, I am wearing my Piggly Wiggly shirt today. Y'all want to see the back? Represent. It's giving very Alabama today. Mississippi, Alabama, Piggly Wiggly. Why does Piggly Wiggly smell like that, y'all? Why it just, no offense to my aunties and my uncles in the nursing home, but when I walk into Piggly Wiggly, it's giving nursing home smell. Diapers and just old people. Why I smell like that? My friend sent me this TikTok. And he was saying how bad Piggly Wiggly stank. I'm gonna put it in here so y'all can laugh with me because it is so true.
Yeah, I'm in goddamn Piggly Wiggly. Came in there, bit the shop before they goddamn shut the fuck down or whatever. Bitch, it smell like the pig been wiggling the fuck out his ass.
Piggly Wiggly just smell like a can of stank ass. I don't know, it's just so bad. And Piggly Wiggly is also, if you don't know what a Piggly Wiggly is, it's in the South and it's a grocery store. And it's kind of expensive. Why are you expensive? Piggly Wiggly as well. But fun fact about Piggly Wiggly I found out today. You know, they always have the hashtag, like their slogan, local since forever. Piggly Wiggly was the first self-service store. And what that means is it allowed customers, I'm reading this so I can get this right. It allowed customers to select their own items from open shelves and take them to a checkout stand. Before Piggly Wiggly, customers would give their grocery list to clerks who would then retrieve the items. That's crazy. I'd be so damn pissed off if I had to do that now. But yeah, fun little fact about Piggly Wiggly. And I got this, my mama still shops there all the time. I got this with her. I do like this one, his little head and his butt on the back, but I kind of just wanted one with just his big head and the local since forever. But this is the only selection they had in Mississippi. The Mississippi one we went to. And my hair, y'all, my hair is giving, y'all, for real. Y'all don't believe me that I get dreads? I'm gonna show y'all, look at this. Look at these dreadlocks. I would never take my money to a barber shop. I grow my lion's mane according to the will of Jah. Cause I'm a natty dreadlock, I a Rasta. I'm a natty dreadlock, na 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 na. Mike Love, go listen to him. He's freaking amazing. He has dreads down to his feet. Fun fact, I used to have dreads. Shout out to KK. She helped me out with, had like three or four dreads. And I would put like little beads in them. I loved them. But this is just because, y'all know I had surgery on my pinky, blah, blah, blah. And I've just been able to take a shower without a trash bag today. And yeah, so washing and brushing out this lion's mane has been a hell of a task. And there she goes. She's giving Princess of Genovia. Or it's also giving thing. Yeah. So I got my little Band-Aid covered up so you can't see where the pins were in my pinky, but I'm working on motion now. That's as far as she can go, but we're gonna get there. Super stoked to have that thing off and wash my arm. Still got a long way to go, but I'm glad that damn splint is off my arm. So I'm gonna be talking about my hands, and if y'all see my ugly hand, don't be rude, okay? I can't help it. At least I put a cute Band-Aid on for y'all, okay? Fun fact about fingers that I learned from my occupational therapist. So he's from Jersey, and he referenced the mob. Y'all know about the mob. If the mob got you, and the mob said, we're gonna chop off one of your fingers, so you choose. Which finger would you sacrifice? I said the ring finger because I'm like, maybe that's like the least important. No, your least important finger is your index finger, your shooter finger. Because if you didn't have this, then your middle and your thumb would overcompensate and do pretty much just fill in the place of the job of the index finger. And you know which finger is your most important? Your pinky. Your pinky. And everyone would sacrifice their pinky. Don't do that shit. If someone's ever going to cut off your finger, tell them the index finger, not the pinky. The pinky and this finger are very important. You can grip without these two fingers. You can grip this, but all of your strength from your grip comes from these two fingers. And balance. So yeah, fun little fact. And of course, I fucked up the finger that I really needed the most. Like, you could still lift a kettlebell, you know, with this grip, but you're not going to lift a 100-pound kettlebell because all of your strength comes from these fingers. So, fun little fact. I've learned a lot about fingers in the past month. So I'm going to start things off a little different today. I usually do my Q&As at the end, but I'm going to start with my Q&As, and that's going to kind of lead into what we're going to talk about today, which is one of my favorite countries, and that's Laos. And I'm super stoked to talk about it with you guys and share my solo travel experience there. It was super rad. One of the questions was, what place was the cheapest to travel? And I really had to think about it, but I looked it up, and Laos actually is the cheapest place in Southeast Asia. And it's way cheaper than like Nicaragua, where I just went to, in Central America. So that Laos is the cheapest place that I've traveled in Southeast Asia. And then the most expensive place I think I've traveled is Australia. Oz is expensive, y'all. I don't know why, but it just felt so expensive when I was over there compared to like Southeast Asia and everything else. Like, Oz and America are very similar with how expensive it can be. Just like hostels and stuff in Australia are really, really expensive when you're balling on a budget. How can you afford to travel? We would call that being a tightwad. I've always been cheap. I've always saved my money. I've always put money back. So when I was working at Betty's, say I go in and I make $250 that day in tips. So I would put back like $50, and then my paycheck, I would also put that back. And of course, some would go in savings, but most of that would go into a little envelope, and it would be cash money for my travels. And I'm just a minimalist, y'all. I always have been. And if you like to buy things and have all the newest things and trends, like, pop off, period. Do what you want to do, but that's just never been me. I do got a new phone. I had an SE forever with the home button. Like, I had that. I literally just upgraded last year, and I have the 15 Pro. So I feel fancy. But if there's something I really, really want, I will splurge. Like last year for my birthday, I wanted this Aloha collection bag. That brand is huge out here, but the bags are so expensive. They're like $70 a bag. But I treated myself for my birthday. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy this $70 bag and treat myself because it's my birthday. So stuff like that I will buy, but honestly, I can afford to travel because I am a minimalist, and I spend money on my travels and my trips instead of clothes and shoes. And I drive a 2005 car, like things like that. And I own probably 6 pairs of shoes. Just little things. Would I like to have more? Yeah, I would. Maybe one day. But right now, just the way my lifestyle is, my priority has been travel. But now my priorities are changing. Like, I do want a more reliable, better car. So that is the next step for me. So it's just whatever works for your lifestyle. But that's how I can afford to travel. And that kind of leads into my next question is, do you use flyer miles? I'm about to put y'all on. When I first started traveling, I knew nothing about credit cards, flyer miles, things like that. And I follow this page called Girls Love Travel on Facebook. I can't remember how I found it, but I'll put it in here. I don't know if there's a Boys Love Travel page, but there should be. But so I can't help y'all out, but this is Girls Love Travel page. And they also have a page called Girls Love Travel Points, and I'm also on that page. So when I was traveling a lot, I was traveling a lot with Delta because that is the main hub from Atlanta. And then when I moved out here, I'm always flying with Delta from Hawaii to back home to Mississippi. To get to Gulfport, Mississippi, I usually stop at the hub in Atlanta. So I applied for the Delta Sky Miles Gold card. And it has changed the game for me. You get that first year, it doesn't cost anything. But then after that, you do have like an annual fee of $100. But it makes up for it for all the benefits and stuff you get. I get a free checked bag, free carry-on. Ever so much that I spend, I get like a $200 flight credit that goes toward my flights. And then of course you get enough miles, you use your miles to pay for your flight. It's awesome. I never swipe my debit card anymore, ever. I just use my credit cards. And this should be taught in school. This should be taught in college because it would help. So, I mean, you of course have to get your credit up by paying for things and all of that when you're younger, but credit cards are amazing. Hello, you're using somebody else's money and then you just pay it back off. A couple months ago, I applied for the Chase Sapphire Preferred card because I kind of was tired of being restricted to Delta. I want to be able to transfer my points to any airline. So I applied for that card. And this page, y'all, tells you all the promotions these cards are having. So, and they all have a startup bonus. You know, you sign up for the credit card, you get approved. If you hit $3,000 or if you hit $5,000 in the first like 3 months, you get 60,000 points to use towards flights. Or you can use it towards anything. You can use it towards hotels, Ubers, you know, renting out cars, anything like that. I use mine for flights. I did use a hotel voucher when I went to Austin, Texas, so that's cool too. I forgot to mention that. That's another one of the benefits. If you get these cards, you also get vouchers for hotels and things like that, and discounts on rental cars and all that kind of stuff. I use my discount for my rental car in Denver. So this card, so I hit my quota and I got those 60,000 points. But on that Girls Love Travel points page, they were like, hey, they're giving this promotion right now that if you reach 7,000 in 3 months, you get $100,000. I'm not getting the numbers accurate, I can already tell, but it's just in that genre. But you have to personally message them, like on your portal. So I said, period. So I went on my portal and I messaged them, hey, I would love to be considered to be able to get the 100,000 points if I meet this so-and-so number in so many months. And they said, yes, we will give those points to you if you meet the numbers. And I met the numbers. So now I have over 100,000 points on my Chase Sapphire Preferred card that I haven't used yet. And I'm so stoked because I don't know if it's going to let me, but I'm trying to fly first class somewhere. And I'm not the one. Don't take advice from me if you're the one that stacks and stacks and stacks your points. If I got the points, I use them. Because I just get them back. Like this 100,000 points, they're like, oh my God, don't use that. Save it. Do this, do that. I'm like, girl, I might not be here in 2 years. If I want to go ahead and fly first class, I'm going to fly first class, okay? Well, I got the points. That's just my mentality. But yes, I use Flyer Miles. Get a Sky Miles card. Get an airline card, whichever United, Chase. I highly recommend Chase Sapphire Preferred. It's not complicated for anyone who's like learning. It's so worth it. It's the best thing that I've ever gotten into, especially how much I fly. It's amazing. And I will put the page in here for you guys. Girls Love Travel. Girls Love Travel Points. It is the plug. It's awesome. There's so much amazing information on there about credit cards, and then there's so much information on there about places to travel, solo travel for women. It's awesome. So yeah, those are my 3 Q&As that I wanted to kind of talk about today. So let's talk about Laos. My gosh, such an amazing country, I'm sure. And it's one of those countries where I tell people that I've been and they're like, huh, where's that? I mean, I was the same way. So, and I also want to go ahead and disclaimer, I'm going to try to pronounce these words the best that I can, but it's different than speaking Lao and having that accent and then saying it in English. So when I was there, everyone said Lao, not Laos. But I know in English, people say Laos. So I said Lao. And if that is wrong, please correct me. That's just what I heard the locals say, and that's just how I say it. But I've also been seeing a lot of people saying Laos. So it's Laos. Kind of history of Lao is that the French kind of took over Lao, and they say that's where the S came from. But Lao gained independence from France in like 1953, and they're a Buddhist and communist country. And it's also landlocked, so it's between Vietnam and Thailand and above Cambodia. So people usually go to Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia. They usually skip Laos. It's a really small country. It doesn't have as much exposure as like Vietnam and Thailand and stuff for backpacking and things like that. But it was somewhere that I hadn't been yet in Southeast Asia, and it was the end of my travels, and I really wanted to go. So I went for 6 full days. I was there 7 days, but 6 full days. And so kind of how I got to Laos, like my last night in Vietnam, me and my friend Shelby, we went our separate ways after the Ha Jing loop up north. And she went to Thailand to do her little solo travel and meet some of the friends that we were already with. And then I was like, I don't want to go to Thailand. Like, I was in Thailand for over a month. And I wanted to do something different. And we had already been in Southeast Asia for over a month. And I was like, I'm just going to go finish out in Laos. We took a bus to Ha Jing. We got a VIP bus, sleeper bus this time, because we were sick of those other motherfucking sleeper buses. They were so horrible. We should have been getting the VIP ones the whole time, and they were only like 10 American dollars more. So dumb. Lesson learned. Get the VIP sleeper bus. It's so worth it. So it dropped her off to go to Thailand. Then it dropped me off at the Hanoi airport. And then from there, I went to this hostel. It's called New Airport Hotel. And I got there at like 4 a.m. in the morning. I had booked like a 6-bedroom dorm room. I remember the taxi or whatever that I had, or the Grab, I was in a car. He dropped me off, and it was like 4 in the morning, and they weren't coming to the door. And I was like, oh my gosh, please no. And finally he came to the door, and he took me upstairs, and it was my own private room. And I was like, okay. I just didn't say anything and went in there, and oh my gosh, it was so nice to just shower and have my own room and sleep. And I woke up and they were like, you missed breakfast. Like this really sweet Vietnamese family. Usually these businesses, they're run out of their homes. So they cook breakfast for you and do all the things. He's like, you missed breakfast, but I'll save you. I'll go grab you some. And he pretty much saved me some. So I went up and had breakfast. And then I just explored in the city in Hanoi that day. I took a Grab on the moped, and I went into the city, and I went and got my nails done and just explored. I saw like the big train that goes right through the city. It's super cool. And it was like Lunar New Year. I don't know if that's what everyone was doing and getting ready for, but they had all like these decorations everywhere and trees, and it's just so cool. Riding on the Grabs, I just love it. Like, I don't even have to stop anywhere or talk to anyone. I can just sit on the back of the moped with this Vietnamese guy and just ride around and just look at everyone in their daily lives and what they're doing. Like what they're eating. Like, people watching is awesome. And just watching the people working out in the fields and doing whatever, like just seeing their daily life, I love it. I'm like, oh, so this is what y'all do. I'm always so curious. I'm like, wait, like, why are y'all doing that? Or why are y'all doing this? And I don't know. I just love riding on the Grabs. And the hotel I was staying at was closer to the airport, so it was pretty far from the city. So I had a good little moped ride into the city. And it's just so funny. Like me, I kind of stick out like a sore thumb over there. My light eyes, blonde hair, kind of like I do here in Hawaii. And I remember being on the Grab, and I masked up on the Grabs because especially if you're going far with the wind and stuff, it's just so much better to have a mask on. And I usually wrap my hair up because, of course, you know, she dreads easy. And this car was driving by us, and it was this like Vietnamese guy, and he just has the biggest smile on his face, and he's just staring at me because my hair came out. So you couldn't really tell that I'm like blonde and American or whatever they wanted to think I was, Swedish or whatever. So my hair had fallen out, so I have blonde hair blowing everywhere, and he looks at me and he's just smiling, and then he comes back by us and he's like just waving so hard and just looks so stoked, and I'm like, hi. I don't know, and just that is just so cute. But I was headed to the airport later that day, and I was trying to get a Grab, and the guy was like, the owner of the hostel hotel, the guy was like, oh, I'll just drive you, I'll just take you. Oh, and I can't remember his name. Shoot. But he ended up taking me to the airport. He was really sweet, and all he made me do, we took a little selfie together, and I left a review. So they really like you to do that because you're supporting them. But he took me to the airport, and I flew into Luang Prabang. Again, I'm pronouncing these the best that I can, okay? Luang Prabang. I've heard a lot of people say that, but I don't think that's right. Luang Prabang. So I flew into Luang Prabang, and I headed down south. I got there, and I stayed at Sunrise Riverside Hostel. I'm looking at my notes, y'all, because this was in January 2023. So I'm having to refresh my memory, and I had to go in my journal and look at all my pictures to kind of jog my memory. But for my hostels and stuff that I choose, I go on the Girls Love Travel page. That helps a lot. I also do my own research, read the reviews. If you're solo and you want to meet people, you probably want to stay in more of a social party hostel. That's just how it is. If you're at the end of your travels, like the end of my travels, I wasn't worried about meeting nobody. I just wanted to be by myself, somewhere clean. I stayed somewhere else that wasn't as social. But this was like a very social kind of party hostel. But what's good about these hostels is they have tours. They have everything, all the backpacker tourist stuff that people do. You can book it with them through the hostel. So that's what's really cool about staying in these hostels and making these connections. And then you go with the people that stay at the hostel. So that's how you meet all new friends, and yeah, it's really cool. But when I got there, I mean, it was very dirty. It was very dirty. I can't remember how many bedroom dorm I stayed in. And it was the end of my travels, like my last week. I was on the last stretch, and I just was not feeling as motivated to talk and make friends and do the whole shebang. So when I got there, and the cool thing about when you're traveling solo, you make your own decisions, baby. You ain't got to ask no damn permission from nobody and make no plans with nobody. You just make your decision on the spot. And when I got there and I felt the vibe and I felt how I was feeling, I was like, I'm going to spend one day here and I'm going to go to my next spot. And I also book as I go because I might like a place and I might want to stay longer than a day or 2 days or 3 days. So I usually book as I go. That's not always that smart because I have been in a pickle before where I couldn't get to where I wanted to stay because they were booked up. So if you do 1 or 2 days, that's fine just to be safe. So yeah, I got there, I slept, and then the next day I got ready to kind of adventure because I knew that was going to be my only day there. So the main things to do in Luang Prabang is the Kawang Sea Falls. And it's so cool. It's just like this really, really blue water with all kind of different falls, and you can swim and jump off the rocks and all kind of stuff. And it was really, really cool when I went there with the group that I was with from my hostel. And then after that, oh, there was also bear sanctuary in there, y'all. So in Laos, they have moon bears and sun bears, and they're endangered, and they were rescued from the illegal wildlife trade. I think I'm saying that right. And this sanctuary was kind of in there when you walk to the Kawang Sea Falls. And yeah, there were little bears in there. They were so cute. And it's like a nonprofit, and they would just ask for like donations or something like that. Moon and sun bears? Are you joking me? And they were so cute. They were playing on all the things. So that was kind of cool too. And then we ended up going back to the hostel. And then that night, I kind of like separated from the group that I had traveled with. I wasn't really feeling it. Y'all, sometimes you just meet weird ass people, and sometimes you just meet the coolest people ever. And sometimes I'm the villain in the story, and sometimes I'm the weirdo in the story, okay? There ain't no telling what a lot of people have thought about me that I've traveled with for just a little bit. So, to each their own. And then that night, I hiked up Fusi Hill. I think I'm saying this right, but y'all, I'm giggling because I was looking at TikToks last night and doing a little bit of research, and there was this British guy, and he was calling it Pussy Hill. He's like, oh yeah, we're going up Pussy Hill right now, blah, 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 like, which is so bad, because this is like a religious site, and it has like Buddhist temples and stuff everywhere, so, oh my gosh, but it did make me giggle a little bit. It's like 100 meters, and you go up, and it's really popular to watch sunset, and you kind of just look over the town. It does cost like 30,000 kip, and kip is their money in Laos, K-I-P, and 30,000 kip is like $1 in USD. So yeah, there's like a little entry fee. We went up there and watched sunset. It was packed. So many people up there. And then later that night, I went to the night market by myself. And I had a lot of yummy food. And y'all, I'm so bad at documenting. When I was getting ready to do this episode, I was like, yeah, dog, I'm not on my phone hardly at all. I don't take pictures of the food. But I'm in the moment, okay? No regrets. But my next trip I go on, I'm going to try to journal like I did and just document a little more so I can remember when I go to talk about it. But I went to this night market, and I did have this little fish pastry. It was a little fish pastry with some kind of like strawberry filling in it or something. It was like a sweet, and it was good, but I had a lot more food too. I tear up a market. I'm trying everything, especially when it's that cheap. That's like one of my favorite things to do. I love a food market in Southeast Asia. You can't beat it. It's like the best thing in the world. And then I'm sitting there, and when you're solo, this usually happens. This girl comes up to me, and she just sits by me, and we just start chatting. And a cat also jumped on my lap and had dinner with us. He was just chilling, just sleeping on my lap. And I just didn't really vibe with anyone there. I kind of did most of the things that I wanted to do. And so I left, and I booked a bullet train with that hostel to go to Vang Vieng. Oh gosh, help me. So that was my next stop, and that was my favorite part of Laos. It's such a cool little town. There's a lot to do there. It's super rural, but when I got there, I stayed in Rock Backpackers Hostel, and of course they have all the tours and everything that you want to do. It was a social hostel, had like a pool table and everything, and right in a really, really good location. And I met this super rad chick. Her name is Linda. Shout out to Linda if you ever watch this. And she rented out a moped, and I was passenger princess. Thanks for driving me around. And we adventured. We went to Blue Lagoon 1. So they have multiple blue lagoons, and it's just like these lagoons, and they're just the coolest blue you've ever seen, like crystal clear. So we rode a moped, and we went to the Blue Lagoon, and that was really, really cool. And just, again, driving around, seeing the locals, seeing their lives, seeing what they're doing, passing around, you know, them herding up their cows and doing whatever. It's just, man, that's what it's all about. Just being immersed in other people's lives. It's so cool. When we got to the Blue Lagoon, they had like this kind of stretch of people cooking different kind of foods. And I did try this one food, y'all. It's sticky rice, but it's like grilled sticky rice with like some chili drizzle on it. And it looks so damn good. But when I bit into it, I was like, was not for me. But y'all know from the last episode, I like to try shit. So, and they also had worms. Yeah. And they put them on a skewer, like a little shrimp skewers. They got little worms on there. I don't know exactly what these worms are called. I saw that maybe it's called suri, S-U-R-E, or bamboo worms, but yeah, they eat them over there, and I passed on that one. Like, I was not feeling very adventurous on that. But the food there is so amazing. I had some, gosh, such good food there. Oh, Southeast Asia's food. It's just different. It's unreal. And then the next day we kayaked the Nam Song River, and it was so beautiful. So Vang Vieng is known for tipsy tubing. So all the people that are staying in all the hostels, they come together and they tube down that same river, and they just get wasted. They got this huge thing set up with chairs and tables, and it's just a freaking raging time. And I knew some people that had done it. My friend Jay, she had been on the same route that I was ahead of me, and I knew how I was feeling. I just was not feeling it. My friend Linda, she felt the same way, so she was down to just kayak and do the early morning one before all the motherfucking tipsy tubers came down, just partying it up. So yeah, we kayaked down that river. It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, like the cows on the sides and just all the locals in the water. And oh yeah, how you say hello in Lao is sabadi. Sabadi. And we were saying that to all the kids that were in the water, and I think they were probably saying bad things to us in Lao. I'm not sure, but
Somebody!
what?
Somebody!
I don't know what he said. They were really cute. So yeah, we kayaked the river. This was my last day. We got back to the hostel, and they're really known for paramotoring. So it's not paragliding, it's paramotoring. So they have the glider or whatever, but then they have the big motor on the back. So it's more powered with the motor, not just, gliding down with your parasail. And I wanted to do that. They're also really known for hot air balloons. They do that every sunset. And I was like, well, I have to do one or the other. And the hot air balloon just kind of freaked me out. I was like, I don't know. I don't know why that freaked me out more than the paramotoring. But we got back to the hostel, and I was like, Linda, like, come on, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. And the other girl, too, that we were with, I was trying to get her to do it, and they just were not down. And that was one of those moments where I was like, I really want to do this. And of course I'm scared because y'all know me. I have flight anxiety, and then I'm going to get up here in this exposed thing above the sky. So yeah, I was freaking out, but I wanted to do it. I was like, it's my last night. My whole trip is coming to an end. I'm about to be headed back to Maui soon. I want to go out with a bang. And I think it cost maybe close to $100. Maybe not even that. I swear that it was cheaper than that. But I wanted to do sunset, but sunset was booked, so I had to do a little before that. So I signed the dotted line and booked it and paid the money. And what they do is they have someone come get you in a truck, and they sometimes speak English and they sometimes don't. So sometimes it's a silent ride, which doesn't bother me. And sometimes it's not. They want to chat you up. So I came downstairs to the lobby. I got picked up out front from the guy. We're driving, and we get to this like empty field. There's nothing around. One little like house, little shack. And there's some like outside like plastic chairs that I've been using for my podcast out there. And I walk up, and they just have these waivers, and they asked me to read the waiver and sign it. And I kind of just went over it and signed it and gave it to them. And they had like watermelon they were giving out. And I'm just like outside in this field, just no one around. And someone, I think they were Korean. Koreans are so funny. I've traveled with them before. They're freaking hilarious. And they were before me. And these women were freaking out. So I'm so happy I got a show before I went and done it. And they were screaming bloody murder. And then when they got off, they're like, oh. But they're like, never again, never again. But it seemed safe. So, and then they're like, they pretty much just run. And they're like, okay, you're next. Because he's doing so many back to back to back, which also made me nervous. I was like, sir, are you tired? And this guy was like I swear he was like 6'4". He was huge. And he was from Thailand. He was Thai. He didn't say a word to me, y'all. We did not exchange words the whole entire experience. And I'm just like, I just get in, I sit down, they strap me up. I'm like, oh shit, they put my helmet on, put the thing on, and I'm like, they're just doing it so fast, and I'm like, okay, like, are we about to go? And then they just run off, and then the guy to start, he just like starts the motor, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, oh yeah, girl. I was holding my breath. My stomach dropped to my feet. And then we were gliding, baby. We was gliding. And the town is so beautiful, y'all. It's so amazing. And yeah, your feet are just so exposed, like on the metal bars. I'm just like kind of holding on to my seatbelt. I did grab my phone out a couple of times and take some videos. I looked back at him once and he's just like masked up. You can't even see him, just like driving me around. But I had a hell of a landing, y'all. Let me tell you, he had to make about 4 laps for me because it got windy. It got really windy by the end of it. And I was like, oh, Lord. And the rest of the people, they were coming in pretty smooth. And that thing like lands on the wheels. And he made a lap. I was like, oh, we're going pretty fast. He made another lap. I said, oh, we're going pretty fast. He made one more lap. And I think he was like, this has got to be the one. So we came in. Bitch, we was coming in hot. We was coming in so hot. I was so scared. And we freaking landed, and then we went boom. It just, like, my freaking head jerked on the ground. And then here comes the guys just running over to me, and they unstrapped me, and I got out, and that was it. Oh, shit. And the truck came back and picked me up, and I went back to the hostel. And that was my last night. And then we went out to eat, I think it's called Green Restaurant. Y'all, I'm so bad with places that I eat. I never take a picture or anything, which is kind of westernized, but it was really cool and had a really beautiful view. Also in Luang Prabang, I went to this place called Baked on Bread. Some of the best food I've ever had. And they were playing some tunes in there, y'all. They were playing the way that you're walking, the way that you're talking. You're the one I want to spend this night with, trying to get in them drawers and bringing up to the morning. I can already tell you want it, cause you're taking it all for me, giving it all to me, bumping that body on me. I was like, what? I was in there by myself, like, looking at all the loud people. I was like, yeah, y'all like the song? Or y'all just playing it for us? I don't know. But the food is just, it's amazing. It's unreal. And then, yeah, that was my last night. And then the next day, I got a tuk-tuk and I went to Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos. And that's where I was going to be flying out of. So I went down. I went Luang Prabang, Vang Vieng, and Vientiane. And I knew my social battery was out, so I stayed at Salomon's hostel. It also was a cafe. So cute, y'all. This spot was so cool. I wish I would have taken more videos too of when I just went out and explored the town, because I walked around a lot. It's cool to explore in Vientiane. There's not too much going on, but the food's really good. And the next day that I was there, I asked around and I got the local bus information. I look so damn funny when I'm trying to find a bus in an international country like that, y'all. But I always end up finding it. I'm just like looking around, walking everywhere. I'm like trying to look at the sign, and usually I look If I feel safe and it's during the day, I'll allow myself to look a little lost, but I won't do that at night because you got to look street smart. And usually someone will help me and talk to me in English if they can speak English, because I mean, look at me. I found the bus number and I went to Buddha Park, and it was beautiful. It was a cool little way to end my last day. And it had this cool little spot where you went into, and it had a bunch of different statues. And I don't know which statue this was, but you went into like its mouth and you went through the inside of like this. I felt like motherfucking Indiana Jones. And you went through and then you walked all the way up and you could see and you walked up to the top and it's like a rooftop view and you see the whole view of the Buddha Park. It was so beautiful. The flowers in there were really pretty. And I kind of had another encounter with this girl. I just remember this. And when I've traveled places like Southeast Asia, people ask to take pictures with me. I don't know if they're making fun of me, what they're saying when they post these pictures or what they're saying when they show it to people, but I try to look at it positively and that they think I'm pretty or something and they want to take a picture with me. The girl's name was Nong. I just grabbed my journal and I'm going to read it to you guys. If you guys don't journal while you're traveling, you totally should, because pictures are great. And when you look at them, it really jogs your memory and brings that memory back. But when you write it down, it's just totally different. It's like reading a book versus watching a movie. So journal on your next trip. Okay. I didn't journal on my Nicaragua and Costa Rica trip, but I'm going to be disciplined and try to do it every time. But I want to read just this little bit of when I met this girl in the Buddha Park in Vientiane. In the park, this girl asked me, "How are you?" She was really sweet, and I think she wanted to test her English. Her name was Nong, I believe. I knew she was going to because I've just become accustomed to it now to ask for a picture. We also took a selfie, and she told me how pretty I was. I said, "No, you're pretty." On the bus back was a similar encounter. A lady sat beside me and asked for a picture with hand signals. She didn't speak any English, but I could just tell by what she was wanting. She wanted a picture. I mean, she literally was like this. She then asked for a second selfie with us both holding up the peace sign. Yeah, so I get that a lot over there, but I don't mind it at all. I like it. I don't think it's weird. The people in Laos are amazing. They're so nice. I felt very safe there. There was one incident my last night where across the street there was kind of a brawl with this like uncle, this older man, and this girl, and he was like pulling her hair and stuff. So that was like the only thing. But I mean, y'all doing that across the street, okay? So don't even act. Oh, I also forgot to mention this one thing. On the way back to the hostel on the bus from the Buddha Park, there was some kind of parade going on. Excuse me if it's not a parade, but something was going on. All the girls were dressed super nice. They looked super beautiful. They were all in the back of trucks. They were like listening to music and dancing. I'll put the video in. If anybody knows what this was or what they were celebrating, it was in January, like 2023. And I'm like, I don't think it was for the Lunar New Year, but maybe it was. I don't know, because a lot of businesses were closed for the Lunar New Year because a lot of Asian countries celebrate that. But yeah, and then I headed back to Maui. I took a tuk-tuk to the airport the next morning, and then I had a long haul, y'all, from Vientiane to Bangkok to Tokyo to Oahu to Maui. It was a bitch. Let me tell you, I took lots of my good old little anxiety pills. But I got to fly with ANA, and that is a Japanese airline, and they're like the best airline in the world, y'all. And I think that was another one of my Q&As. What is the best airline? ANA for sure. ANA and Philippine Airlines is up there. They were amazing as well. So Laos is awesome, guys. The food is amazing. The people are great. It's a different kind of beauty that I can't explain. It's like rural, but there's all these lagoons and rivers everywhere, and I don't know. It's just night markets, city life. It's awesome, and I felt super safe. If you're thinking about solo traveling there, if you're like me and you have already hit the main spots in Southeast Asia, if you ever go back, I would highly recommend it. I wasn't there very long. I wish I would have stayed longer if I was in that mindset at the beginning of my travels to adventure a bit more, because there's a lot of other things to do, a lot of hikes and stuff like that. Highly recommend it. 10 out of freaking 10. It's so underrated, and it's just nice to go off the beaten path. Go somewhere less What the hell is the quote? Y'all know I'm the queen of messing up quotes. Take the road less traveled. I think that's it. But yeah, highly recommend Laos, y'all. It was amazing. I would totally go back just for the food, just to chow down. But that's it for this one, y'all. If you like this episode of how I kind of break down where I traveled, what I did, the hostels, the food, let me know, and I'll do another one of these. We're almost at episode 10. Thank y'all so much for listening and watching, and everyone that supported and shared. It means a lot to me. Love y'all. Oh, love y'all with my little thing. Peace and blessings. Catch y'all on episode 10.